Right now you're chasing a windmill, and
Right.
nobody knows who owns a windmill, much less who regulates that windmill.
This is Amanda from Virginia
hi, how are
Beach.
you?
Hi, I've been trying to get a hold of you for months now. Thought you were dead. But I see you're alive and well, working at the DEQ.
Of course.
I am really concerned about what has happened with my complaints, my filed complaints, and my case.
It's not really a case.
Oh, it's a case, and it's about to be a quote-unquote federal case. I mean, literally.
That's good. You know, I have talked to, I don't have his name in front of me, the EPA fellow in Detroit. We don't have any hard evidence of, you know, anything in the soils or anything like that for us to take action on.
So how do you have no hard evidence when you haven't taken any yet?
Well, I don't, you know, we're not EPA. We're the state.
I was sent to you. EPA sent me to you. I found out that the DEQ does not even handle anything that's mobile.
That's exactly right. We talked about that, and we talked, you know, a couple of months ago.
Okay, so why then would the EPA, who I still have yet to speak to an EPA representative, only contractors and operators, why have I been sent to you then when they knew that it was the chemtrails I was calling about?
Okay, if you can explain to me maybe what's going on.
My name is Amanda. I have a case that's gone down from the EPA.
Which media? Is it with air, water, petroleum?
It's with air, chemtrails.
Okay.
So I just want someone that I can speak with.
What is the city that your complaint is with?
It's in Virginia Beach.
Okay, what I can do is connect you with the inspector, and that's probably going to be the best route for you to go directly to the source.
Okay.
So if it's for Virginia Beach, then I'm putting you right in contact with the air inspector for Virginia Beach.
Can I get your name again, Amanda?
Amanda, yes.
What is this in reference to?
It's in reference to chemtrail pollution being sprayed over top of my house in Virginia Beach. I would like to speak to someone and find out exactly where my case is right now. Who is investigating this for me?
I certainly don't recall it coming across my desk. I can tell you that the department has no jurisdiction over anything that moves. That's even a car or a vehicle, anything that moves in the air, on the water, or on the road. They're considered mobile sources of emissions, and we just don't deal with them. It's too much. It's going to be nothing. No regulation.
There's no regulation that's going to regulate air emissions.
That's going to govern anything like that.
There's no agency that's going to govern air emissions.
Not from a mobile source. Absolutely not.
That's absurd.
It's got to be something locked down, stationary, for us to pay attention to it.
You don't notice the chemtrails that are spraying over the top of the sky day in and day out.
We can't deny them.
I know you can't.
I don't recall ever been in any kind of loop on this, Amanda.
What's your position there?
Air quality inspector. Yeah.
You're an air quality inspector. What are you inspecting?
Stationary sources of air pollution and on an industrial level. And also we do handle residential citizens' complaints, legitimate complaints.
I'm a legitimate resident, and I'm making a formal complaint.
Do you live in an airport or something?
There's airports everywhere. I live next to a military base. What does DEQ stand for? Department of Environmental Quality?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, I'm calling about the quality of my environment. It's not suitable for me. Is there something you can do?
If it's locked down, stationary, not moving around.
So you're telling me that you're just going to let them spray me down day in and day night?
Nothing we can do with a mobile source.
Oh, there's something you can do. You're just not doing it.
It's like a car. It's like a train.
It's not like a car. I've never seen chemtrails come out of the back of a car.
It's like a cruise liner or something,
Do you live in Virginia?
I do.
Okay, so, sir, you know the chemtrails here are bad. You have to care about this, too. You have to. I mean, someone has to from the government. Come on. Just going to let them keep spraying us and not tell us what it is?
Well, I don't. I've never done research on them, but is it true? Do they dissipate like in the atmosphere?
No, they do in the sky exactly what you see here, which is look out there today.
Does it even get to ground level? I don't know. I'm not sure. Yeah.
Well, how can I know what it is if y'all aren't even admitting what it is by purposely denying what you see with your own eyes? and you know you're doing it.
We can only act to the extent of our regulations, and that's just not covered.
Who tells you can't investigate this or you can't acknowledge it?
We don't. Well, we certainly don't write the regulations, but we do enforce them, and we do enforce them.
But what regulations are you enforcing?
Air Pollution Control Board regulations.
And what are they?
Well, they're just the air division of DEQ. I just happen to be in the air world.
What do you do to investigate the air if you can't? You told me you can't investigate the planes, so.
Well, we evaluate permit compliance. We maintain an emission inventory. We know what people in industry are polluting, and they pay for that pollution by the ton, per ton of emissions that's coming out of either a smokestack or some fugitive source.
Is there any other avenue that you can tell me to go? Is
there any recourse? I will be just like you. I have to go online and see what's out there, what works, and which way to go with it. It's not to say that Virginia air pollution regulations won't address it in the future. I mean, air pollution regulations are always changing and expanding. I wish I could do more.
Air permitting.
Look on your computer system to see if my complaint has been passed to the right people?
She should be able to help you with that. Just one moment, dear.
Okay, thanks.
Hello?
I have a case pending chemtrails and getting my soil sampled. And I was just wondering where my case was. If you could tell me whose hands it is in currently so I can know what's going on with it.
Okay. What was the case again?
2020-0032.
Okay. Well, let me have a look for you real quick.
Okay.
Try and find.
What's going on with Madison is clearly an example of discrimination. It's because she's putting out certain types of information. She's just putting information out is what she's doing. She's being discriminated against for the message she's putting out.
Do you have anyone there that can tell me or give me information on the air installations compatible zone disclosure?
Okay, just one moment, ma'am. I'm going to put out for ball swing. How may I help you?
I was trying to get some information on the air installations compatible zone disclosure.
2161. That's the Air Operations Duty Officer. He should be able to help you out with that. Bye-bye.
Base Ops, Greg. May I help you?
I was calling to see if I could get any information on the air installations compatible zone disclosure. I never signed anything, so I just didn't know if you had any information on it.
Let me see here. By chance, how did you come across this number? And what number did you call prior? Because I don't have any information on that. I have to find somebody else that can answer your questions.
2366.
Oh, that's the quarter deck.
That's the only number, and then they connected me to you.
Let me put you on hold 1 second. I just got to track that number down.
Okay.
Yeah, let's try 3158. That'll get you to the AQ's office.
Sure. Thanks a lot. Bye.
Community Planning Liaison Office. May I help you?
Hi, yes. I was calling to see if I could get some information on the air installations compatible zone disclosure.
Yes.
Sure. Okay, yes. I live right next to the military base.
You do?
And I've called and complained about the airplane pollution. I'm going to go ahead and make a phone call to a government official about chemtrails. Hold on 1 second. This is Amanda. I just received a phone call from you.
Hey, Amanda. Yeah, I just wanted to touch base with you, if I could, on the notices you've been calling in reference to some chemtrails.
Right.
Yeah, our agency is an industrial regulator. We don't regulate emissions from aircraft or actually any vessels or vehicles for that matter. I see you called our agency 3 times with 3 different issues about these chemtrails, and I just wanted to make sure I had the right issue that you were concerned with.
Also in your message, you had stated that the FAA, NASA, and NOAA would be the right people for me to contact. The reason why I contacted you guys was because I wanted to get some type of a sample, either from like the soil or something like that. I am extremely overwrought with the condition of the atmosphere here and also with the treatment that I've received from all of the federal agencies and government agencies. No one has investigated one of my claims of airplane pollution, but it's an air pollution problem that I want to be addressed. Do you test the air?
We monitor the air, but our air monitor people do that, but they monitor it down, within the livable range where, people are dwelling and stuff like that.
Do you guys test for heavy metals or biological material?
I couldn't tell you the exact things that are tested for in each region because, like the Tidewater area, they test differently than what's tested up in Northern Virginia or Piedmont or out west or something like that. Regardless, the emissions from aircraft is not something that we test for. Even if we picked up something, we wouldn't have the statutory authority to go to Department of Defense and say you're not allowed to fly over Tidewater because of X or because of Y. And I'm not trying to make small of what your concerns are. I'm just telling you we don't have the statutory authority to tell the federal government what they can or can't do. If our samples, and that's how our air monitoring comes back, we have low quality, high quality. We put out what the air quality samples tell us for this region, but specifically identifying some nuances to the air quality and I don't mean chemtrails as in a slang or belittling. There's condensation trails. We call those contrails, and that's where the atmospheric temperature is so cold. But I believe a lot of the concerns that you have is the other emissions that are coming out of the jets, whether it's carbon dioxide, unburnt fuel, could go on and on. Those are things that we don't have the authority to measure those or to regulate those.
Right. What made you say the Department of Defense? Because I didn't even mention them.
Because in this area, that's the number one customer for aircraft traffic is the Department of Defense, the Navy.
Okay, I didn't know that. So would you suggest
that... Hold on now. You're in Tidewater, Virginia. Right. And you had no idea that the jets were flying over your head.
We're Department of Defense? No, I didn't.
NASA Langley, that's there. That's Air Force, but it's still under DOD. Navy, DOD. That's the number one. That's why a lot of civilian aircraft don't like to fly into Tidewater because the military jets are so fast around here. It's like riding a bicycle in the HOV lane. It's such a contrast in the two of them. But it's going to be a steep road to hoe in this area with just all the jet traffic. Have you talked to the Navy, at all to try to get?
Yes, I have.
Okay. And what was their response?
No one will investigate this for me.
I don't think you necessarily want people to do the investigation for you. What you need to do is just do FOIA requests for air emissions from the jets. Your environmental lead contact over there, just send them an email and say this is a FOIA request. Just any air emission studies that they've done for the jets and the byproduct of the jets, within a reasonable range. And see what they come back with.